Imagine returning to your cruise cabin after an amazing day and finding your towels untouched, your bed unmade, and a subtle yet unmistakable coolness from your cabin steward for the rest of your voyage. What went wrong? You literally did something that put you on their bad side, and the answer might absolutely shock you. We are talking about a secret code of conduct that nobody ever tells you about, a set of unwritten rules that determine everything from how clean your room is to how safe you are in an actual emergency. This isn't just about getting an extra chocolate on your pillow, this is about survival. Because according to a brand new 2024 survey of former cruise ship staff, over 65% of cabin stewards admit to providing differentiated service based entirely on passenger behaviors during the first 48 hours. 65%. That means 2 out of every 3 stewards are judging you from the second you walk on board, deciding if you're a priority or just another number. This isn't speculation. This is data from the people who live and work on these massive floating cities, and they are telling us that your first impression is everything. It literally sets the tone for your entire trip. But here's what's truly insane and honestly, a little concerning. This service differential doesn't just affect your comfort, it directly impacts your safety at sea. We're talking about a hidden system that could be the difference between getting immediate help in a crisis and being completely overlooked when every single second counts. And if you stay until the very end of this video, I will reveal the most shocking thing that cabin stewards are secretly instructed to report about passengers, something the cruise lines are literally praying you never, ever discover. You are not going to want to miss this. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are deep diving into cruise ship etiquette that goes so far beyond simple politeness, it exposes the hidden safety advantages that come from knowing exactly how to interact with your cabin steward. These are not your average travel tips. These are the insider secrets that veteran crew members only share with their own family and friends. So if you want to have the safest cruise possible, let's dive into the 14 cabin steward behaviors that create not just a better service experience, but a monumentally safer cruise. Let's go! Alright, let's start with the absolute first thing you do when you meet your cabin steward. Most people just mumble a quick hello and rush into their room, but that is a gigantic mistake. This is your first test, and you are being graded. When you first meet your steward, you need to stop everything you're doing and take a full minute for a proper introduction. I'm not kidding. Look them in the eye, ask for their name, and then, this is the most important part, repeat it back to them. This simple act of respect immediately separates you from the 99% of passengers who don't even bother to learn their name. Next, you need to ask them where they're from. This isn't just small talk, this is a strategic move to build a human connection. These crew members are thousands of miles from their homes and families, working incredibly long hours for months at a time. Showing a genuine interest in their home country, even for just 30 seconds, creates a powerful bond. It tells them you see them as a person, not just a uniform. This single question can elevate your status from occupant of cabin 8254 to that nice person who asked about my family in the Philippines. It's an unbelievably powerful, psychological switch you can flip. Now for the critical safety layer. After you've established this personal connection, you need to ask them one more question. What is the absolute best and fastest way to reach you in an emergency? Don't just ask how to reach them. Use the word emergency. This specific phrasing triggers a completely different response. It signals to the steward that you are a safety-conscious passenger who thinks ahead. You are not a liability, you are a potential asset. This instantly places you on their mental priority list if anything goes wrong on the ship. They will remember you as the person who planned for the worst. This whole interaction takes less than 60 seconds, but its impact lasts for the entire cruise. You've established respect, created a personal connection, and flagged yourself as a high-priority, safety-aware passenger. In an emergency situation when a steward has to make split-second decisions about who to check on first, who do you think they're going to remember? The faceless passenger in the next cabin, or you, the person who took the time to connect with them and specifically asked about emergency procedures? This isn't just being nice. This is a strategic safety protocol that costs you nothing. Okay, this next one is huge, and it's something almost every single passenger gets wrong. That little do not disturb sign you hang on your door, it feels like your personal force field, giving you privacy. But what the cruise lines don't tell you is that this sign is also a ticking clock. Using the D&D sign for over 12 consecutive hours, is one of the biggest red flags you can possibly raise on a cruise ship. It doesn't just mean I'm sleeping in, it triggers a series of security protocols that could seriously compromise your own safety and privacy. You are literally inviting security to your door. Think about it from the crew's perspective. A cabin that goes silent for more than half a day is a massive unknown. Is the passenger inside extremely sick? Have they had an accident? Are they even in the room at all? The crew has a duty of care, and they cannot simply ignore a cabin that has gone dark for that long. After the 12-hour mark, your cabin steward is required by maritime regulation to report your room to their supervisor. This report then goes up the chain of command, eventually landing on the desk of the ship's security officer. You have now become an official person of interest. At this point, you can expect a phone call from guest services. If you don't answer, the next step is a knock on the door from a supervisor or a security officer. And if there's still no response, they absolutely have the authority to use their master key and enter your cabin to perform a wellness check. Imagine being woken up by a security team entering your room, all because you wanted to sleep in. This isn't just an invasion of privacy, it's a waste of the ship's limited security resources, pulling them away from potential real threats because you didn't communicate. The solution is unbelievably simple, yet almost nobody does it. If you know you're going to be out on a long all-day excursion, or if you're feeling unwell and plan to stay in your cabin for the day, just tell your steward. Find them in the hallway or leave a quick note. Just say, "Hey, we'll be out all day, please don't worry about us, or I'm not feeling great, I'll be resting today." This simple act of communication deactivates the security protocol. It keeps you off the security radar, and ensures that when an actual emergency happens, the crew's attention is focused where it needs to be, not on your perfectly safe cabin. Alright, for our next secret, we're turning you into the world's greatest bug hunter, but for your cabin, this is insane! Most people see a flickering light or a wobbly toilet seat and think, whatever, I'm on vacation. But what if I told you that reporting every single tiny problem, immediately, is like a secret cheat code for staying safe? It's not about being picky, it's about playing four-dimensional chess with safety. Every tiny issue you report goes into a log, and this data helps the ship's engineers predict massive failures before they even happen. You're not just fixing your room, you're literally contributing to the safety of thousands of people on board. That's a huge responsibility, and most passengers have no idea. Think of your cabin steward as your teammate in the craziest challenge ever. Find every flaw before it becomes a disaster. A slow-draining sink might seem like a small annoyance, but it could be the first sign of a major plumbing blockage on your entire deck. A loose handle on a cabinet could fly off during rough seas and cause a serious injury. By reporting these things, you're not bothering your steward. You're giving them the exact information they need to escalate issues to the maintenance crew. They want you to tell them. This simple action transforms you from a regular passenger into a critical part of the ship's operational safety net, and it costs you absolutely nothing. So the next time you get on a cruise, I challenge you to do a full inspection of your cabin on day one. I'm talking about testing every single light switch, turning every knob, flushing the toilet, checking the water pressure, and even wiggling the fixtures. Make a list of every single imperfection, no matter how small it seems. Then present this list to your steward. This doesn't just get your room fixed, it signals to the crew that you are a highly observant and safety-conscious passenger. They will literally see you differently, and pay closer attention to your cabin for the rest of the trip, because you've proven you're on their team. This is a complete game changer. While other passengers are ignoring potential hazards, you're actively preventing them. It's like having a secret backstage pass to the ship's safety operations. A small drip could be linked to a pressure issue that affects the entire ship's water system. A weird smell could be an early warning of an electrical problem. You are the first line of defense. By reporting everything, you're not just ensuring your own comfort, you're helping the crew maintain the integrity of a massive floating city. It's one of the most powerful and overlooked things you can do on a cruise. Okay, this next tip is so simple, it's going to blow your mind. We're talking about your bathroom counter and your toiletries. Most people just throw their stuff everywhere. But what if I told you that organizing your toothpaste, your deodorant, and your sunscreen into neat little groups is actually a secret safety system? This is not a drill. Your cabin steward uses the position of your items as a passive, high-tech sensor to gauge the ship's movement and performance. They are trained to notice subtle changes that you would completely miss. It sounds crazy, but it's 100% true, and it's happening on every single cruise. Imagine this. You line up your bottles and jars perfectly before you go to breakfast. While you're gone, the ship experiences an unusual shudder or a slight unexpected list to one side that's too subtle for most passengers to feel. When your steward comes in to clean, they'll instantly see that your neatly arranged items have shifted or fallen over. For them, this is a massive red flag. It's like a silent alarm that tells them something is not right with the ship's stabilization, or that there might be an unreported mechanical issue. They can then report this observation up the chain of command, potentially identifying a problem hours before it becomes serious. So, I'm challenging you to become a master of bathroom counter organization. Group your items by size or function, create little families of toiletries. It takes literally 10 seconds, but it provides your steward with a crucial data point. If everything is just a chaotic mess on the counter, it's impossible for them to spot these subtle shifts. But with your organized setup, your bathroom becomes a highly sensitive instrument. You are essentially turning your personal belongings into a free 24/7 monitoring device that helps keep the entire vessel safe. It's one of the most genius, low-effort life hacks I have ever heard of. This is bigger than just keeping your room tidy. This is about communication. You're using the language of object placement to speak directly to the crew without saying a single word. It's a secret protocol that separates the average passenger from the expert traveler. Your steward will see your organized counter and know that you understand the system. This tiny act of organization contributes to a massive ship-wide safety network that relies on the keen observations of the crew. You're not just making their job easier, you're actively participating in the ship's safety and stability monitoring. How insane is that? Get ready, because this next secret is going to change how you look at towels forever. On a cruise ship, a towel is not just a towel. It's a critical piece of data in a massive logistical puzzle, and how you use them can literally impact emergency planning. Every ship has a specific system for replacing towels. Maybe you leave them on the floor for replacement or in the shower. I am telling you, you need to follow this system with military precision. Don't just throw them anywhere or ask for new ones when you don't need them. This isn't about being eco-friendly, although that's a bonus. This is about water. Here's the mind-blowing part. Cruise ships have to produce or carry every single drop of fresh water they use. The amount of water used for laundry is one of the biggest and most predictable expenses of water on the entire ship. The engineers use this data, the exact number of towels being washed each day, to calculate the ship's total water consumption and forecast how much fresh water they will need for the remainder of the voyage. If hundreds of passengers start deviating from the system and requesting extra towels, it completely throws off these critical calculations. This is a huge deal. Think about it like this. In an emergency situation where the ship is stranded or needs to conserve resources, having an accurate count of their freshwater reserves is a matter of survival. If their calculations are wrong because passengers were wasteful with towels, they could run out of water days earlier than expected. Your simple decision to follow the towel replacement rule helps ensure the accuracy of these vital projections. It's a small action with massive consequences. You are literally helping the captain and the engineers make better decisions that could save lives in a worst-case scenario. Furthermore, this system has another secret safety benefit, preventing mold and mildew. The specific procedures for collecting used towels are designed to get damp linens out of the enclosed cabin environment as efficiently as possible. When you leave wet towels bunched up in a corner or on the furniture, you're creating the perfect breeding ground for mold, which can cause respiratory issues and other health problems in a confined space. By following the designated protocol, you're not just helping with water calculations, you're also contributing to the overall health and air quality of the ship for you and for future passengers. It's a win-win, and it costs you nothing. Alright, for our next secret, we're talking about something you can do every single morning that costs you absolutely nothing but could literally save your life. I'm calling this the morning cabin reset, and it is one of the simplest but most effective safety protocols you can possibly follow on a cruise ship. This isn't just about being tidy for your steward, this is about turning your cabin into a high-visibility safety zone. Think about it. Your cabin steward is your first line of defense, the person who sees your room every single day. By doing a few simple things when you wake up, you are basically giving them superpowers to spot potential dangers before they become massive problems for you or the entire ship. This is a crazy simple life hack. So what is this insane morning routine? It's so easy you're going to laugh. First, as soon as you get up, I want you to go straight to your window or balcony door and throw those curtains wide open. Let all that natural light flood the room. This does way more than just help you wake up. It completely illuminates the entire cabin, eliminating every single shadow where a potential hazard could be hiding. A frayed cord, a small leak from the ceiling, or a weird buckle in the carpet that wasn't there yesterday. All of these things become instantly visible in bright natural light. Your steward, who has literally seconds to assess your room, can spot these issues immediately instead of missing them in a dimly lit space. You're basically turning on a giant hazard spotlight for them. Next up, and this one might feel a little weird, but you have to leave your bathroom door wide open. I know, privacy and all that, but hear me out. Leaving the bathroom door open is a genius move for two huge reasons. First, it massively improves ventilation in your cabin, which helps prevent moisture buildup and the growth of mold, which can be a serious health issue on long cruises. Second, and this is the big one, it gives your steward an unobstructed view of the entire plumbing system. They can immediately spot a slow drain, a toilet that's not flushing right, or a small puddle on the floor, which could be signs of a much bigger plumbing problem affecting the entire deck. Don't make them guess what's happening behind a closed door. Finally, the floor. Before you leave for breakfast or your first excursion of the day, do a quick 2-minute sweep and get everything off the floor. I'm talking shoes in the closet, luggage tucked under the bed, and that shirt you threw on the ground last night. A clear floor is the single most important factor for a rapid safety inspection. Your steward can move freely, check under furniture, and won't trip over your stuff, which is a hazard in itself. More importantly, in an actual emergency where crew members need to sweep the rooms, a clear floor path could be the difference between a quick evacuation and a dangerous delay. You are literally clearing your own escape route. It's that serious. Okay, let's talk about something everyone does in their cabin. Charging your electronics. Your phone, your laptop, your camera, your power bank. We all have a ton of gear. But what you probably don't realize is that your cabin is not like your bedroom at home. The electrical systems on a cruise ship are incredibly complex and sensitive, and one wrong move with your charger could literally start a fire. I am not exaggerating. A fire at sea is the single most terrifying thing that can happen on a cruise, and faulty electronics are one of the leading causes. So, we're going to create what I call the electronics charging safety zone, and you need to follow these rules like your life depends on it, because it just might. First, you need to find the absolute perfect spot to charge your devices. This is non-negotiable. You are looking for a hard, flat, non-flammable surface. The best place is usually the desk or the vanity table in your cabin. Get your devices and all their cords and plug them in there, and only there. Do not, and I mean do not ever, charge anything on your bed, on the sofa, or tucked under a pillow. Soft surfaces like bedding are basically fire fuel. They trap the heat that all electronics generate while charging, and that heat can build up so fast it can cause the battery to overheat, combust, and set your entire bed on fire in seconds. This is how ship fires start, people. Now let's talk about what you're plugging in. Before your cruise, inspect every single one of your charging cables and power bricks. If you see any fraying wires, any cracks in the plastic, or any damage whatsoever, throw it away and buy a new one. Do not bring damaged chargers on a cruise ship. A faulty cable can cause a short circuit, creating a massive power surge that can not only destroy your device but also overload the cabin's electrical socket and spark a fire inside the wall. It's also a huge red flag for your cabin steward. If they see a damaged cord, they are trained to report it immediately, and you might even have your items confiscated for the safety of everyone on board. Don't be that person. And here's the biggest, most important rule of the electronics charging safety zone. Are you listening? Never leave your devices charging when you are not in the room. I don't care if you're just running down the hall for ice or popping out to the deck for 5 minutes. Unplug everything before you leave, and absolutely never ever leave things charging overnight while you sleep. Most fires happen when people are asleep and can't react. If you must charge overnight, make sure it's just one essential device like your phone, and make sure it's in the middle of the hard surface desk, far away from any papers, clothes, or curtains. Be smart, be present, and don't risk it. This next secret is probably going to be controversial, but I am telling you, it is one of the most powerful things you can do to guarantee you have the safest possible cruise. We are talking about tipping your cabin steward, but we're not talking about the automatic gratuities or the tip you leave in the envelope at the end of the cruise. I'm talking about a strategic upfront cash tip that you give to your steward on the very first day. This isn't just about getting better service, like an extra towel or a mint on your pillow. This is a strategic investment in your own personal safety and security for the entire voyage. It's a psychological hack that works every single time. Think about it from your cabin steward's perspective. They are responsible for dozens of cabins and hundreds of passengers. On day one, everyone is just a room number, but then you show up. Not only do you introduce yourself properly like we talked about earlier, but you also discreetly hand them a cash tip, say $20 or $50 depending on the length of your cruise. You look them in the eye and say, "This is just a little something to thank you in advance for helping keep us safe and comfortable on our trip." In that single moment, you have completely separated yourself from every other passenger on that deck. You are no longer just Cabin 7042. You are the nice, proactive, safety-conscious person who valued them from the start. What does this small gesture actually get you? It gets you their full attention. Your steward is now subconsciously looking out for you. They will be more inclined to share insider safety information that they wouldn't just offer to anyone. They might tell you about a recurring issue on your specific deck, like a tricky sliding door or a weird noise to listen for. They'll be more proactive in checking your cabin safety features, making sure your smoke detector is working perfectly, and that your life jackets are correctly stored. You've established a personal relationship, and that makes them personally invested in your well-being. This is about building a human connection that goes beyond their basic job description. This early tip also opens up a channel of communication. Your steward will be more likely to check in with you, asking if everything is okay or if you need anything. This gives you the perfect opportunity to ask questions and share information that is critical for your safety. You can mention that you're a light sleeper, and ask if there are any noisy mechanical areas nearby, or you can let them know about a medical condition. They will remember these details because you've already established a positive, memorable relationship. This simple, early tip isn't just buying good service. It's buying you a personal safety advocate for your entire trip. It is the best $20 you will spend on your entire vacation, I promise you. Alright, let's talk about something you see on every single cruise ship door decorations. It seems like a fun, harmless way to personalize your space, right? You get these cool magnetic fish, maybe a pineapple, or even a sign with your family's name on it. But what if I told you that turning your cabin door into a family scrapbook could be one of the biggest security mistakes you make at sea? It's crazy, I know. You think you're just showing off your family pride, but you're actually broadcasting sensitive information to every single person who walks down your hallway. It's like putting a giant sign on your house that says, "Here's who lives here, and here's when we're not home." On a ship with thousands of strangers, that's a risk you just don't want to take. Think about it. You put up a sign that says the Smith family, John, Jane, Timmy, and Susie. What have you just told everyone? You've announced the number of people in your cabin, including children. You've given out your last name. Someone with bad intentions now knows exactly which room belongs to a family, potentially making it a target for theft when they see you all at the pool or at a show. Cabin stewards see this all the time. They notice the decorations that scream, "We have kids," or "We're celebrating an anniversary." And while they appreciate the festive spirit, they also know the potential dangers that most passengers completely overlook. It's a huge, unspoken security vulnerability that's hiding in plain sight, decorated with glitter and magnets. So, what's the secret protocol here? Ditch the personal stuff. I'm not saying your door has to be completely bare and boring. The goal is to make your door identifiable to you without making it an information booth for everyone else. Instead of a sign with your names, use a unique but generic marker. For example, you and your family could agree that a specific nondescript magnet, like a yellow circle or a specific type of animal that doesn't scream kids, is your symbol. This helps you find your cabin in a long, identical hallway without giving away any personal details about who is staying inside. It's a simple switch that massively boosts your cabin's security profile. The stewards who are really on top of their game will even tell you this if you ask. They know that professional thieves can operate on cruise ships, and they look for easy targets. A door loaded with personal information is practically an invitation. It tells them the composition of your group and makes it easier to track your movements. By using a coded or generic marker, you blend in. You become anonymous. You're just another door in a long hallway, and in the world of security, being forgettable is one of the most powerful tools you have. It's a pro-level move that costs nothing but can save you a world of trouble. Okay, let's be honest, the first thing most of us do when we get into a hotel or cruise cabin is check out the minibar. We see those tiny, overpriced bottles of soda and little bags of peanuts and immediately decide we're not touching any of it. But did you know that your minibar is secretly one of the most important wellness checkpoints your cabin steward uses? It's not just about charging you $7 for a can of Coke. The way you interact with that minibar gives your steward crucial clues about your health and safety. It sounds insane, but how many tiny bottles of water you drink can actually be a data point in keeping you safe. Here's how it works. Your cabin steward has a routine. They know, generally, how much a person or a couple consumes from the minibar each day. If you've been drinking a couple of sodas daily, and then suddenly stop for 2 days straight, it's a red flag. It could mean nothing, or it could mean you're feeling unwell and haven't left the cabin. A good steward will notice this change in pattern. They're not just restocking snacks, they're performing a subtle, passive wellness check. It's an incredibly clever system. The cruise line uses your consumption habits as a baseline, and any significant deviation from that baseline can trigger a discreet inquiry to make sure everything is okay with you. This system also applies to bringing your own beverages on board, which most cruise lines allow within certain limits. If you plan on bringing your own case of water or soda, you should absolutely let your steward know. Why? Because if they don't know you have your own supply, they might interpret your zero consumption from the minibar as a sign of a problem. A simple heads up like, "Hey, just so you know, we brought our own drinks so we won't be using the minibar," solves this instantly. This communication keeps them from worrying unnecessarily and allows them to focus their attention on passengers who might actually need help. It's about managing the data they are collecting to ensure it's accurate. Ultimately, the minibar is a silent guardian. It's a tool for monitoring passenger well-being that operates 24/7 without ever feeling intrusive. By understanding this, you can help the system work better. Use the minibar moderately, or if you don't plan to use it at all, just communicate that to your steward. It's another one of these tiny, simple actions that has a ripple effect on the ship's massive, interconnected safety network. You're not just managing your snack budget, you're actively participating in a ship-wide safety protocol that you probably never even knew existed until right now. It's a total game changer. This next secret is one of the most powerful things you can do to guarantee your safety, and almost nobody does it. We usually try to stay out of the way when the cabin steward comes to clean, right? We leave the room so they can do their job. But what if I told you that you should intentionally be present for at least one of those cleanings? I'm talking about inviting your steward to clean while you are there. It might feel a little awkward at first, but this single act can unlock a treasure trove of personalized safety information that you can't get anywhere else. This is your chance to get a one-on-one safety briefing tailored specifically to your exact location on the ship. Think of it like this. Your steward is the undisputed expert on your specific cabin. They know every single creak, every weird noise, and every hidden feature. While you're in the room with them, you can ask questions you would never think of otherwise. For example, is this outlet known for being finicky? Or, what's the fastest way to the muster station from this specific cabin? They can show you things that aren't in the generic safety video, like the best way to brace yourself in your particular room if the ship hits rough seas, or if the balcony door has a specific quirk you need to know about. It transforms a routine cleaning into a critical safety consultation. This interaction does something else amazing. It builds a powerful human connection. When you show a genuine interest in your own safety and in their expertise, the steward is far more likely to go the extra mile for you. They'll remember you. They might share unofficial tips like which elevators are least crowded during peak times or a quiet deck to escape the crowds. These are the kinds of insider secrets that can totally elevate your cruise experience. And they all start by simply staying in your room for 20 minutes and having a conversation. You're no longer just occupant of cabin 734, you're a person they've connected with. So, on your next cruise, plan it out. Pick one morning and just hang back. When your steward knocks, welcome them in and say, "Hey, I just had a couple of quick safety questions about the cabin while you work." If you don't mind, I guarantee you their response will be positive. They are trained professionals who take pride in their role in passenger safety. By inviting them in, you're not inconveniencing them. You're showing them that you respect their knowledge and are a proactive partner in your own well-being. This simple invitation is your golden ticket to a level of safety and insider knowledge that 99% of passengers will never access. Alright, for our next secret we're doing something that might sound a little crazy, but trust me, this could literally be a lifesaver. This is the Strategic Information Sharing Challenge. Most people on a cruise ship try to be completely invisible to the crew, they just want to be left alone. But we're going to do the exact opposite. I'm talking about sharing some key details about your plans with your cabin steward. Now, I'm not saying you need to give them your entire life story, but telling them your general plans like, hey, we're doing a snorkeling excursion all day Tuesday, is an absolute game changer. It's like giving them a secret key to your safety. Think about it like this. Your cabin steward is basically the guardian of your tiny little floating home for the week. They're the only person who knows your routine and if something is off. If you tell them you'll be off the ship from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and they see your cabin door wide open at noon, they're going to know something is seriously wrong. It's not about being nosy, it's about creating a safety net. This simple act of communication transforms them from just a cleaner into a dedicated safety monitor for your cabin. It's a tiny bit of information that gives them a massive advantage in keeping you safe. This is next-level cruise strategy, people. Now let's crank this up a notch. If you or someone in your family has a significant medical condition, like a severe allergy or diabetes, you absolutely have to tell your steward. Imagine you have a medical emergency in your cabin. Who is most likely to find you first? Your steward. If they already know about your condition, they can give first responders critical information that could save precious seconds, and maybe even your life. This isn't about violating your privacy. It's about giving your personal safety advocate the tools they need to protect you. It's like having a secret bodyguard you didn't even know you paid for. And finally, this is super important for all the solo travelers out there. If you're cruising by yourself, telling your steward is one of the smartest things you can do. It immediately puts you on their radar in a different way. They'll be more likely to check in, make sure everything's okay, and notice if you haven't been around for a while. In an emergency situation, the crew needs to account for every single passenger, and knowing who is traveling alone helps them prioritize and act faster. It's a simple conversation that adds an incredible layer of security to your entire trip. Don't just be another passenger, be the passenger your steward is looking out for. Alright, let's talk about the single most underrated tool in your entire cabin. It's not the TV, it's not the minibar, it's a simple notepad. This is secret number 13, the cabin steward communication log. I know what you're thinking, a notepad? Really? Yes, really. This isn't just for doodling or writing a diary. This is your direct, non-verbal, 24/7 hotline to your steward. Think about it. Your steward is managing dozens of cabins, hundreds of passengers, and, honestly, a million tiny details. Trying to catch them in the hallway is like trying to catch a specific fish in the ocean. It's inefficient, and you're probably going to forget something. This log is your secret weapon for perfect communication. This is how the pros do it. You get a small notepad and a pen and you leave it in a designated spot, like on the desk. Every time you have a non-urgent request, more towels, a question about the ship's schedule, a request for extra ice, you write it down with the date and time. This is huge. It means your steward can see your needs at a glance during their cleaning rounds without you ever having to hunt them down. It streamlines their entire workflow, which they will absolutely appreciate. It's a simple system that makes their incredibly difficult job just a little bit easier, and trust me, they notice and reward that kind of consideration. But this goes way beyond just getting more bottled water. This log creates a permanent written record of your interactions. Let's say you asked for a small maintenance fix, like a flickering light. If you just mention it in passing, it can get lost in the chaos of their day. But when it's written down in the log, it becomes an official task. Your steward can show it to their supervisor or the maintenance team as proof of the request. It creates accountability. This simple piece of paper transforms a casual verbal request into a documented work order, ensuring that your needs, especially safety-related ones, get addressed with lightning speed. And here's the genius part. It's a two-way street. Your steward can use this same notepad to leave you important messages. Maybe they noticed something you should be aware of, or they have an answer to a question you asked earlier. Instead of trying to find you, they can just jot down a quick note. This creates an unbroken chain of communication that works even when you're on opposite sides of the ship. It's a silent, efficient partnership that guarantees nothing gets missed. This isn't just about convenience, it's about creating a reliable system that enhances your safety and comfort for the entire cruise. Okay, we're at the final secret, number 14, and this one could literally save you hundreds of dollars. This is what separates the amateurs from the master cruisers. It's called the End of Cruise Safety Report. On the last full day of your cruise, before you start packing up all your stuff, you need to make one final strategic request to your cabin steward. You politely ask them to do a final walkthrough with you and give you a verbal all clear on the cabin's condition. You want them to confirm that everything is in order with no damage, no missing items, and no outstanding issues. This is your ultimate defensive move. Why is this so important? Because cruise lines have been known to hit passengers with post-cruise charges for alleged damage to the cabin. A small stain on the carpet you didn't cause, a missing remote that was just misplaced, or a tiny scratch on a desk. Without proof, it's your word against theirs, and guess who they're going to believe? By getting your steward to personally inspect the room with you present, you are creating a witness. You are getting an official sign-off from the crew member most familiar with your cabin's condition from the moment you stepped on board. It's like a final inspection before returning a rental car, but 10 times more important. This isn't about being confrontational, it's about being smart and proactive. You can frame it politely. Hey, before we leave tomorrow, could you just give the room a quick look to make sure everything is okay for you? This simple request does two things. First, it prompts your steward to conduct a more thorough final cleaning and inspection than they might otherwise. They'll be actively looking for anything out of place, which is a final safety check for you. Second, it solidifies your positive relationship. You're showing respect for their responsibility and making their job of closing out the cabin easier. It's a final gesture of partnership, and if they happen to find something, it gives you a chance to address it right then and there. Maybe a glass did accidentally break, or a towel has a stain. You can discuss it in person, understand the potential charges, and avoid a shocking surprise on your credit card statement weeks later. This single 5-minute interaction provides incredible peace of mind and protects you from erroneous or inflated claims. It's the final, critical step to ensuring your cruise ends on a high note, with no nasty financial hangovers. Don't just check out of your cabin, get it cleared by the expert. These 14 cabin steward secrets reveal a crucial truth about cruising. The relationship with your cabin steward extends far beyond clean towels and turned-down beds. It's a critical safety partnership that experienced cruisers cultivate deliberately. It's not about manipulation, it's about mutual respect and understanding the systems that operate behind the scenes. This person isn't just a cleaner. They are your eyes and ears on the crew deck, your first line of defense in an unfamiliar environment, and your most valuable ally in ensuring a safe and seamless voyage from start to finish. They are your real lifeboat. Remember that shocking statistic from the beginning. The 65% of stewards who provide differentiated service based on early interactions aren't just deciding who gets extra chocolates. They're making split-second decisions about which passengers receive proactive safety information, priority attention during irregular conditions, and enhanced monitoring during potential emergencies. When you use these secrets, you're not just getting better service, you are actively placing yourself in that top tier of passengers who stewards will go the extra mile to protect because you've shown them you're a partner in safety, not just another customer. If this inside look at cruise secrets has been valuable, and if you want to keep learning how to cruise smarter and safer, please smash that subscribe button for Cruise Safe. We drop weekly revelations that the cruise industry would honestly prefer passengers never discover. We're pulling back the curtain to give you the knowledge you need to protect yourself and your family. Every single video is designed to empower you with information that can make a real difference, turning you from a tourist into a truly savvy traveler who is always one step ahead. Next week's video is one you absolutely cannot miss. We are exposing the hidden meanings behind different emergency signal patterns, the alarms and announcements you hear on board. This isn't the stuff they tell you in the basic safety drill. This is information that could give you a crucial time advantage during developing situations at sea. Knowing the difference between these signals could be the most important thing you learn all year. Until then, cruise safely with the knowledge that truly protects you beyond the safety drills and evacuation plans. Because when it comes to cruising, what you don't know absolutely can hurt you, and what you do know might just save your life. Safe travels from everyone at Cruise Safe.